Prince Harry and King Charles have been at odds for years, but recent whispers tell of a dramatic family summit at Windsor that blew all old grievances wide open. King Charles called everyone, William, Harry, Andrew, and Anne, but then refused to speak himself. Instead, he tapped his no-nonsense sister Anne to deliver a bombshell message that would reshape the future of the monarchy. Harry arrived alone, Meghan was notably absent, and the tension in the room could be cut with a sword. William looked on stunned as Anne calmly but firmly read out their father's final wish. This wasn't a routine announcement, it was a reckoning. Charles, weakened by illness and keenly aware that time is no longer limitless, had drafted a new inheritance plan. He wasn't handing everything automatically to William, he was reshuffling power, roles, and influence, and Harry's place in the family would neither vanish nor fully return. William, frozen by the weight of expectation, realized his crown would be worn under new rules. Harry, already feeling like an outsider, understood this decision cemented his liminal status. Recognized, but sidelined. It wasn't spite. Charles spelled it out. It was survival. The monarchy, fractured by decades of scandal and division, needed fresh foundations built on honesty, not blind tradition. To truly understand why Charles made this move, Anne reminded everyone of the long history of unpredictable turns in royal succession. A century ago, Edward VIII abdicated for love, forcing his brother George VI, an unprepared teenage girl's father, to take the throne. That crisis taught Elizabeth, Charles's mother, that destiny can be rigid and cruel. Charles grew up watching his mother carry a nation's burdens alone, and he vowed never to leave the next generation trapped by outdated scripts. When Elizabeth II died in September 2022, Charles felt not just personal grief, but the weight of a stable icon's passing. He inherited a grand but fragile institution, and within months, doctors found cancer. Suddenly, the future he'd planned in leisurely decades became a race against the clock. He couldn't afford to gamble on old precedents. He needed a blueprint for continuity, one that balanced William's readiness, acknowledged Harry's reality, and protected the crown itself. Hence Anne's announcement. William would be king, yes, but his powers, duties, and public face would be carefully defined. Charles's plan recognized fractured relationships, the toll of past scandals, and the need for a leaner, more transparent monarchy. Harry would retain his title and privileges, no total disinheritance, but he wouldn't occupy prime roles. He'd be acknowledged, but left in a kind of royal waiting room, neither fully in nor entirely out. That private room at Windsor, heavy with centuries of tradition, suddenly felt like a courtroom delivering verdicts. Anne, who never shies away from blunt truth, laid out Charles's instructions. Restructure the monarchy for the 21st century. The shock and dread fell over everyone. If Charles was willing to break tradition so deliberately, what other surprises awaited? Charles's decision sprang from his own hard-learned lessons, watching Edward's abdication spiral, seeing his mother bear both crown and personal pain, and knowing that his own illness meant he might not have decades to safeguard the institution. He needed leaders who could adapt, leaders like William and Kate, who had quietly taken on more duties long before this moment, learning diplomacy, public service, and resilience under fire. Behind the scenes, Operation Menai Bridge had been rehearsing every detail, state notifications, flag protocols, and ceremonial movements. But Charles's real innovation was rewriting the narrative. Succession would no longer be purely bloodline-based, but also merit and reality-based. He wanted a monarchy that survived scandals, divorces, and public distrust by embracing change. Prince Harry might not be getting an invite to his brother Prince William's coronation when William becomes king, and it's not because of royal tradition, but because of a brotherly feud that's reached its breaking point. According to a report from Page 6, the rift between William and Harry has grown so deep that not only are they not speaking, but William reportedly doesn't even plan to extend an invitation to Harry for his future coronation. The final straw, Harry's recent BBC interview, where he opened up about wanting to reconnect with his family, but claimed that King Charles refuses to speak with him. "I would love reconciliation with my family," Harry said. "There's no point in continuing to fight people." He also mentioned that because the UK government decided to revoke his publicly funded security, he can't imagine bringing Meghan or their children back to Britain. "He won't speak to me because of this security stuff," Harry explained. "I can't see a world in which I would bring my wife and children back to the UK at this point." While some believed there was still a chance William might offer an olive branch, Harry's public airing of grievances seems to have changed everything. An insider said, "I think it's done. I don't think there's any coming back from that. Before the interview we thought, come on William, extend a hand to your brother. But now, it seems that Harry hasn't learned anything." The idea that Harry wouldn't be invited to the coronation isn't unprecedented. Hugo Vickers, a royal family friend, pointed out that King Edward VIII was also not invited to his niece Queen Elizabeth II's coronation in 1953, despite being a former monarch himself. "It's not set in stone," Vickers said about coronation guest lists. However, Vickers cast doubt on the speculation that William plans to formally strip Harry and Meghan of their His/Her Royal Highness titles once he's king. "William is unforgiving anyway," Vickers said. But he won't strip Harry and Meghan of their titles. It appears vindictive. In short, Harry's return to royal life, or at least publicly, looks less likely than ever, and with coronation plans taking shape, it seems William's path forward may no longer include his once close brother. William and Kate, once just heir and trendy princess, are now the quiet power center preparing to step up. Kate has honed her skills, leading solo engagements, hosting dignitaries, and balancing motherhood with duty. William, raised for this moment, has watched his father's health battles and knows the luxury of delayed preparation is gone. He must lead with strength, clarity, and a vision that blends tradition with transparency. Meanwhile, Harry, who moved to California for privacy, found the king's final wish pulling him back under royal gravity. He's still a prince, still a blood relative, but his memoir, his public statements, and years of distance have cost him trust. Sources say he's writing another memoir, possibly timed for after Charles's death, one that could be unfiltered and explosive. His future in the royal fold now hinges on William's judgment. Will William use his newfound authority to welcome Harry back, or to close the door for good? This moment isn't just family drama, it's a crossroads for the monarchy itself. Charles's bold plan acknowledges that a static crown atop rigid traditions would not survive modern scrutiny. He's handed William a complex inheritance, a title, yes, but also a mandate to rebuild. William's first moves may include formally stripping Harry and Meghan of HRH titles, no more half-inside, half-outside status. That would send a clear signal. The institution demands unity and discretion. For Harry, the stakes are huge. He can choose to mend bridges, respect the new structure, and find a place of honor without headline-grabbing reveals. Or he can double down, publish more secrets, and risk permanently burning the last connection to his birthright. William's decision will be decisive, a gesture of mercy, or a firm line drawn. Charles's final wish was about more than dividing roles. It was about rewriting a constitutional family story so that the monarchy can endure. He chose Anne to deliver this message because she's fearless and truthful, the only person who could cut through palace politeness and deliver a message sharper than any sword. And now, standing at the edge of a new era, the royal family faces its greatest test. Can William and Kate carry the crown forward with integrity, while Harry finds a way to honor blood ties without tearing down the institution? Charles has handed the baton to William and Kate, asking them to balance tradition with greatness. Anne's role as messenger shows that blunt honesty sometimes matters more than ceremony. And Harry, well, his next move could either heal old wounds or light the monarchy's most explosive chapter yet. The world will be watching every step. Let us know in the comments, smash that like button, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss any videos. See you in the next video.